hello, Dan and Nikki, and hello, Tony. Dan and Nikki, you're saying who? And Tony, you're going, what? So let me quickly introduce you. Dan, Nikki, this is Tony. Tony, this is Dan and Nikki. Okay, so all the introductions have been made now. Let me give you a quick background on why I'm making this video for you, Tony, in response to your email rather than just simply emailing you, when in fact I'm probably a better communicator via email, via writing, than I am video. No one could ever accuse me of having good videos. But here's why I persist in doing them. About 3 years ago, Dan, who is a good friend from high school, and I decided, no, Dan's not currently in high school. He and I were in high school together. That's a better way of saying it. And he's a good friend. We decided that we were going to communicate, not entirely, but majority through YouTube videos. And so we started doing this 3 years ago. We're up to, I don't know, 800 some odd videos. So we have the channel that you responded to that video to, Taming of the Tube, is Dan's and my channel. We both post things to that. Nikki, who is another good friend who we also went to high school with, started in with this video thing with us, maybe a year ago or so. And Nikki lives in Corvallis, or near Corvallis, Oregon. Dan lives in Pendleton, Oregon, and I live in Winona, Minnesota. You are somewhere in California, Tony, but I don't know where. So, but don't tell me. I want to see if I can figure it out based on your videos. So, but I'm responding to your email. Dan and Nikki, you're saying, what email? Well, Tony made a comment. Dan, you may have seen it on the costochondral separation video. He suffered a similar injury, though I think more egregious, which also included a couple of cervical breaks, some impinged nerves, a couple of days stay in ICU, and this was all the result of a gnarly mountain bike crash off of a stone bridge 10 feet down into a gully. So in response to that, there's so many things I want to quickly say. So let's start here. One is, Dan actually just posted a video, one of his last videos, where he had a couple of friends come over, and they were talking about where the world's going, the economy, world economics, this, that, and the other, and the conclusion was that wherever we're going, if we can go there with good friends and go there with people who we've built relationships with, we're all going to be better off. I think that was the gist of what you were saying, Dan. And that's something that I certainly agree with. My wife and I, Beth, lost a son. We had four. We have 3 sons now. We lost a son in May. And after that, one of the ways that I've been trying to deal with it is by trying to do positive things with other people, doing things that are living things, out doing with friends, with people. And so when I saw your comment come in, you started talking about this injury and the debilitativeness of it. I started thinking about that this sort of struck me that this was yet another example of somebody that I could make a connection with. And I figured the more people I can make a connection with, the better off I am in the long run. So not only that, obviously you mountain bike a lot, you hike, and I love to go out. I don't mountain bike so much, but I've started road biking recently. I mountain biked a lot when I was in college. I have an old Klein Pinnacle that I bought back in, I think, '89 that I still have, with the original elliptical chain rings on it. But I've been doing a lot of water skiing, a lot of rock climbing. In fact, this Sunday we're going rock climbing. I don't know how well I'm going to climb based on my injury, but anyway. So when I saw kind of who you were when I watched your Survivor application, which absolutely cracked me up. By the way, I think they haven't chosen you because you're too self-aware. I think you have to sort of meta-consciousness. You're aware both of yourself and the inherent, fallibility of Survivor. So I think that's why. So quit being so self-aware and tone the humor down. I'm not sure that's a selling point. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and then the other thing that struck me about you was the music that you play, and you've got 6 albums, I think, out when I was looking at your website. So Dan and Nikki, his website is TonyLauria, LAURIA.com, and Tony, Dan is also a musician and has been and he does a lot of open mics, he does a lot of gigs, he plays guitar, he's got an awesome voice. In fact, I've often told Dan that I think his voice is far superior to 90% of the voices that I hear on the radio. I think it's the president calling. Hold on, let me check. No, it is not. And so I just thought there was that sort of musical connection, and so suddenly we've got this, energy is not the right word, this... Synergy, yeah, synergy. My wife suggested that. Being passed around, and I just, I didn't see any reason not to seize on that, and try to build this connection with you, especially as you were trying to get through your recovery. So one of your questions, Tony, was how am I, my injuries and how am I dealing with it? And one thing that I found is that it's like today what I find is that the muscles tend to cramp up a lot. So the muscles right back here, like right now, they're cramping. And I get that often at the end of the day. If I push on it right here where that the breastbone attaches to the ribs, right there where that connective tissue is, I can hear it. Let's just quote that. I can hear it popping, and I can definitely feel it. I don't have so much pain around the back other than just those muscles cramping. But what I find is that I can lift my arm up, I can swim, but I always feel it. I can feel it slightly popping when I swim. The pain isn't debilitating, but I can definitely feel it. I can feel it when I flip turn in the pool. Like I said, we're going rock climbing on Sunday. I'm really anxious to find out, am I going to be able to actually pull myself up? Part of me thinks I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to have to just climb with one arm, which is going to be, obscenely difficult because I'm not that great of a rock climber anyway. So, and I tend to, I've got pretty good mobility, but I feel it a lot. I feel it when I do strange things, when I go to lift some, those things that you do that you always took for granted, where you can kind of grab something back here and lift it, and I feel that. I'm 44, so there's a lot of things I'm feeling in my body anyway, of things that are aging. But but that one that particular injury, even though I feel it, and sometimes sometimes I get kind of concerned about it because there's still a big, like a lump, right, right there, that I'm not quite sure what that is. But it pops when I push on it, which I can't imagine is a good thing. But water skiing, what I've been doing is I've been holding it. Dan, you asked this. How have you been water skiing if you're really injured? So either I'm faking it or I'm faking it. But what I've been doing is I've been skiing with jump skis, which are wider, they're buoyant, and I've been holding on primarily. I've got both hands up, but I'm holding primarily with my right arm. But also I just, honestly, I don't. If I can get out there and do it, I don't want to stop. And I don't think, Tony, I'm dealing with quite the same pain that you are. But you had, like you said, a couple cervical breaks and that impingement on the nerve. So you had, I think, quite a bit more trauma to your body than I did. So, I am no, physical therapist or, medicine man whatsoever. But it's one thing that I've been thinking that I'm going to really have to work on my core muscles this winter. When when water skiing season's finally done, I'm kind of hoping to go tomorrow. The weather should be in the low 50s, but not breezy, so we'll see. But what I'm going to do is work on those core muscles a lot and really try to build that core strength back up. Also, one of the things that I want to start back up on is yoga, simply because I really think all that stretching, is going to be incredibly beneficial, and that's the only way to get through it is by systematically, working on, kind of a physical therapy regimen, and so I'm anxious to hear how you progress through your own physical therapy. Are you out road biking at all? One thing that I have found I can do is I can road bike. I've never been a road biker before, but if my choice is nothing or road biking, I'd rather go on a road bike, and I just so I've been out road biking quite a bit. And when I thought about when you were saying that you've been over this bridge 100 times before, and suddenly something grabs your tire, and there you are, over 10 feet down the bottom of the gully, barely able to move. Because I tend to bike with just, I've got a little biking hat similar to what you were wearing. In one of I think it's actually your YouTube picture for your channel, and I tend to bike with no shirt if the weather allows. So, but that's why I swim so much, because I would rather be, honestly, in the middle of a raging storm with thunder and lightning and wind in the middle of a lake than riding down the side of the road where a car's going to, run me over, or something that tire's going to, blow out, or I'm going to hit sand. The next thing I know, I've broken my collarbone. So anyway, this is getting really long, and I'm sorry. We are nothing if not verbose. Yeah, nice way of saying we talk too much. Anyway, if you can make a video response. I would love to see, hear more about, kind of what things you're able to do at this point. And if you have a plan for strengthening those muscles, because certainly it sounds like after 3 months, you probably lost a lot of strength in that, in that core. And let me know what the things you can do. Can you still play ping pong? That's the important thing. I love playing ping pong. So, can you still play ping pong? Do you have the mobility for that? And all I can say is, keep hiking and keep engaging in things that you can do in order to stay positive and yeah. And actually, I'm looking forward to getting on and listening to more of your music. And I really recommend Dan. I should have grabbed your website off for him, but is it Dan Haug Music, Haug? I think that's what it is. Anyway, you should be able to Google it and find him. So it's Dan Haug, Haug. He's in Pendleton, Oregon. And so, anyway, that's all I got. So I guess at that point, go USA.